uh, which is called as pausing mechanisms. And this is a simple program which demonstrates the basic programming code known as hello world. In every programming language, this is the first program we are writing. As we all know, every system, every programming language, this is the smallest thing beginning from the programming development. As you can see, this is very simple. But the things we should remember is Prolog is developed to handle more complex situations rather than writing some trivial stuff and doing some simple programming. So, let's find out much more complex Prolog programs which will give us a brief idea about Prolog programming. Well, a Prolog program consists of 4 major parts: domains, predicates, clauses, and goals. So, now let's go to our Prolog program and try to execute it. But before that, I would like to introduce or give a brief introduction about what is these 4 major parts are. Domains. Domains is used to define data types, where predicates is used to map the relationships. In that clause, we would try to give what thing is related to which is indicated in the predicates. So clauses. Clauses is used to define facts and rules. Facts are the things that we already know, and rules are the things we need to follow to achieve the given objective. And goals. Goals is the objective that user wants the system to achieve. Well, this is a simple Prolog program. In this program, as you can see, there are 4 main categories. Domains. In the domain part, there are 3 variables declared: author, name, and count. First 2 variables are in symbol data type, and the last one is integer data type. Since first 2 is symbol, because we are planning to store string values in this context, and count is used to store integer. In predicate section, there are stuff which defines the rules, stuff that consider about the predicates or the relationships of a given context. Then we are moving on to clauses. In the clauses, there are facts and rules, such as things we already know and things we need to follow. In the goals section, it is planned to have the objective or the goal that we need to achieve. So, even though we discuss about Prolog, it has been very criticized among the programming industry. Although because Prolog is widely used in research and education, Prolog and other programming languages have not had a significant impact on the computer industry in the given time. Because most applications are small by industrial standards, because they are more or less about 100,000 lines of code. So it is not a standard application for a industry. And even though languages like Prolog is developed saying that it will reduce the need of memory and it will increase the performance, but it really doesn't do so. For an example, object-oriented programs run much more faster than a Prolog program does. So people says it is not very useful using such a logic-based language over a procedural language. Well, now it is time to consider about the applications of Prolog. Basically, there are many types and types of applications of Prolog. Basically, in artificial intelligence, computational linguistics, and relational databases and expert systems. Those are the stuff basically comes onto mind when we are talking about applications of Prolog. So now it is very important to discuss why do we use Prolog. And the first and the foremost answer is it's a free and open source and well maintained language, so it is easier to distribute Prolog programs also. And also Prolog programs are small in size, and it is less in verbose and helps development. And also, as I mentioned earlier, it helps the higher order functions. And Prolog is interactive. And also, Prolog is an interactive language. So, it makes very easy and essential using Prolog for systems which are critical and which are require a much more flexible and facilitated language. So, it is also a very important thing to discuss whether there are anything new in Prolog. And as you all know, a language needs to evolve with the time. Even if it's a human language, if it doesn't evolve with the time, it gets, we say it dies. So as it is the same logic applies to the applied to the programming languages. And even though there are many criticisms about the practical usage of Prolog programs, they have a rapid evolution. And there are new trends introduced in Prolog, such as data ingestion with legacy systems and codifying business rules in searching algorithms and natural language processing. And also it's used as a backend of other programming languages. For an example, in a programming language use Prolog as its backend. So whenever we use the programming language, such as the front end of an application, it takes Prolog as its backend, so we can communicate with it. And also it influences on new logic languages. And also it can be continued using expert systems, scheduling systems, and knowledge bases. And in the conclusion, I would like to say programming has many approaches, such as procedural, logical, object-oriented, and logic-based. Each has its own importance in their given context and in their own way. So, as every other language type, programming language like logic programming also has its own uniqueness and their own importance in usage. So, it is safe to say that the logical programming languages has a bright future in this programming industry. So, that is the end of our presentation, and we would like to thank you all for being patient and being with us, and we will meet you with our next Prolog presentation, and thank you very much.